Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to a sensational cricket happening show with your host Ram today. And the reason that I'm saying that it's a sensational cricket show, it was a sensational piece of bowling from the South Africans on a wicket which definitely helped them a bit. But it was all about bowling in the right areas, and that's what the South Africans did to sink the Australians to just 85 all out in the second test match, on the first day of the second test match at the Bellary Oval in Hobart. And as I said yesterday, South Africa for the first time were playing a test match at the Bellary Oval in Hobart, and they would have absolutely happy memories of that. It was one on Philander. Even though there was no Dale Steyn, Rabada was not the record, it was one on Philander. Just getting that bit of movement, just that bit of assistance from the pitch was a good toss to win. The cloud was, the sky was absolutely overcast. There was a moisture in the pitch, and there was just that bit of movement that Vernon Philander normally needs, and that is what he precisely did. He moved the ball, he made the ball talk, he moved the ball off the seam, and he really started putting every Australian batsman into some real trouble as the Australians sunk to 85 all out, with Vernon Philander finding his mojo, one could say, after making a comeback. And what a spell from him. His spell was something which was absolutely superb. Look at that bowling spell of his. If you look at the bowling figures of Vernon Philander, it really makes some real happy reading. Vernon Philander, 10.1 overs, 5 maidens, 21 runs and 5 wickets. Tremendous performance from him. Kyle Abbott supporting him admirably well. 12.4 overs, 3 maidens, 41 runs and 3 wickets. Kagiso Rabada just decorating that solitary wicket of Neville, 1 for 20, and Keshav Maharaj playing 4 overs, 2 maidens, none for 2. Now I'm going to walk you through the score as to how the Australians were sunk for 85. There's a good toss to win, and the Australians actually had 2 people actually making their debut. They had Callum Ferguson coming in the middle order making his debut, and Joe Many also making his debut. So it's all started off like this. It all started off with Warner really in the very first over trying to slash a wide ball outside the off stump, and that was the time the Australian war started, as David Warner slashed at a wide one outside the off stump, and Quinton de Kock picking up the catch. And I thought it was a totally irresponsible shot from Warner, especially considering that it was just start of the match there. So David Warner was the first one to be dismissed. Caught de Kock, bowled Philander for 1. That was the first wicket. Australia 2 for 1. Joe Burns and Khwaja were at the crease, and now the next man to go was Joe Burns. Kyle Abbott was the bowler in the third over. Kyle Abbott got a ball which actually swung in to Joe Burns, and Joe Burns was wrapped on the pads. Up went the umpire's finger. Joe Burns was a victim there. LBW bowled Abbott for 1. The Australian score 2 for 2. Usman Khwaja and the Australian skipper Stephen Smith came in, but Usman Khwaja was living dangerously, one could say. And then Philander, as I said, Philander just needs that bit of movement, and that's what he precisely did. The ball, Usman Khwaja was squared up, in the sense he just went for the pod, and it was such a ball that it was a must-play delivery from Philander there. And Khwaja fell a victim as Amla showing good anticipation, plucking up the catch of the bowling of Philander. And Usman Khwaja was on his way back, and the Australians scored 8 for 3. After that, on the same score, one on Philander of the very first delivery, getting Adam Borges. Adam Borges was totally squared up with the very ball that he received first up. He was caught. De Kock bowled Philander for naught, which made it 8 for 4, and the Australians were in deep trouble at 8 for 4. After that, with just 9 runs, after that we saw the hat-trick ball being bowled, and one was probably thinking whether Vernon Philander is going to take a hat-trick, but that never happened, as Callum Ferguson managed to actually keep the hat-trick ball at bay. But it was not before, and the other day we saw Temba Bavuma in the first test bring up a great piece of fielding. And now look at this substitute, Dean Willis. What a magnificent piece of fielding from Dean Willis. Callum Ferguson had played the ball through the backward point region, and there was a misfield by Dean Willis. So Ferguson decided to go for a single, and before he could regain the crease, I mean, it was a wonderful effort from Dean Willis. I mean, the ball was not even related to the wicket keeper. The ball, the throw coming in from Dean Willis, hitting the timber, and Ferguson was on his way back, run out for 3, and Australians were really sinking, and they were reduced to 17 for 5 at that stage, with only Stephen Smith guarding the fort there, staying at the crease. Now, Peter Neville, the wicketkeeper, came in, and his wicket was taken by Rabada for a change. Kagiso Rabada, trapping him LBW for 3, which made it 31 for 6, and then Joe Many, on his debut, came out and joined Stephen Smith. But Joe Many, well, he played 1 or 2 confident strokes for boundaries, but that was it. This was Philander testing him, first getting the ball to swing away from him. The very next delivery, the one that just moved in a shade, I would say. I mean, it pitched and it was the forward prod from Joe Many, but it beat his bat and went on to hit the off-stump bail, and Joe Many was on his way back, out for 10, bowled Philander, and that made the score 59 for 7, and soon it was 66 for 7 when Abbott actually took the wicket of Mitchell Starc, brilliantly caught by J.P. Duminy in the slips. What a catch! The ball is just flying, and it was Duminy reaching full length, a low catch taken by J.P. Duminy. Mitchell Starc on his way back, 66 for 8, and then Hazelwood hit 2 boundaries, and that was it. But Stephen Smith was staying at the crease over there, seeing everything happen in front of his eyes, and Hazelwood was the next victim as Abbott actually got, and now this was another wonderful catch taken by Amla, showing amazing anticipation and plucking up the catch low down. He was gone for 8, and Nathan Lyon was the last man out, caught de Kock, bowled Philander for 2, a brilliant catch taken by Quinton de Kock, and South Africans, not only were the bowling was good, but also it was backed up by some brilliant fielding, I thought. And finally, it left Stephen Smith high and dry, not out on 48 with 5 boundaries. There were only 2 people who could reach double figures. One was Stephen Smith, not out on 48 with 5 boundaries, and Joe Many on his debut getting 10 runs. And this was, as I said, it was all about bowling in the right areas, even though, I mean, you got the conditions. I mean, it was a good toss to win for South Africa, with Du Plessis winning the toss, and definitely it's all about bowling in the right areas with the sky overcast and the moisture in the pitch. But I thought the South African bowlers exploited it to the hilt. And also one more thing that I would like to say, brilliant fielding from the South Africans, which sunk the Australians to their mire as they were all out for 85, and it really looked a sad tale. But let me say that Stephen Smith was the only person, if you had shown some application, I think you could have really stuck it out there, and that's what precisely the Australian skipper did. Well, as I said, a very sorry tale to say for the Australians, as they were bowled out for 85 on the first day of the second test match. Now, it was the turn for South Africa. Probably one thought with the pitch doing a bit there in the pitch, probably even the South Africans would probably face the same music, but it was not to be. A very, very strong defiance by Stephen Cook and Dean Elgar, the openers, even though they were beaten a couple of times. But Dean Elgar was very, very sure. I mean, they knew that there was something in the pitch, and they thwarted the Aussie pace bowlers in a very nice manner, as the opening partnership went on to add 43 runs as that was going on. And then they were not really intent on hitting any boundaries. It was all a matter of just staying there and blocking the deliveries, and that's what they were precisely doing. But then finally Mitchell Starc, coming on to his second spell, honed in on Dean Elgar by delivering a beautiful toe-crushing Yorker, and Dean Elgar was gone. LBW bowled stack for 17. That made it 43 for 1, and at the same time his opening partner Stephen Cook left, as this was a catch taken by Neville behind the sticks off the bowling of Mitchell Starc for 23 with 2 boundaries. 44 for 2, and then with 2 more runs added, Duminy was a victim as Starc actually had him caught by Smith, which made it 46 for 3, and then South Africa suddenly looked like they were in some trouble there at 46 for 3. But then it was Hashim Amla at the crease, and he had the skipper du Plessis for company. Hashim Amla played some nice strokes, and he was doing a good job there, staying at the wicket. But then du Plessis was the next victim, and this was Josh Hazlewood who picked up his wicket, as Josh Hazlewood had du Plessis LBW for 7 with 1 boundary. 76 for 4 was what the score read. And then finally Amla, after getting himself into some sort of form with a knock of 47 with 5 fours, fell a victim, as this was a very good catch taken by Neville behind the sticks of the bowling of Hazlewood. He was gone for 47, and the score at 132 for 5. And then definitely the Aussie bowlers had really come back in a big way there, but then it was Tenda Bavuma playing very, very confidently, was not in any sort of trouble. Quinton de Kock was giving him company, and this partnership had definitely done a good job for South Africa to take them into the lead. In fact, they had already taken the lead, but they extended the lead to 86 runs towards the close of play, with Tenda Bavuma remaining not out on 38 with 5 good boundaries. Quinton de Kock was not out on 28 with 3 boundaries, as South Africa closed at 171 for 5. So essentially they were 86 runs ahead. I mean, they have taken an 86 runs lead, and they will be pretty happy with this effort. And Australians are definitely under the pump here in the second test match. As far as the bowling is concerned from the Aussies, Mitchell Starc 15 overs, no maidens, 49 runs and 3 wickets. Hazlewood at 16-7, 36 runs and 2 wickets. Joe Mini on his debut, at times he looked a bit sharp. 14 overs, 1 maiden, none for 47. Another line, 10 overs, 1 maiden, none for 30. That was the only piece of spin that we saw in the entire first day from Nathan Lyon. Well, so that is as far as... so definitely I would say the Australians have their task cut out. They have to nip up the South Africans early, lest they are going to be in some real sort of trouble. There's still some batting to come for the South Africans, but one thing that I could say, a brilliant effort from the South Africans. Well, so I'm going to leave from here right now, and we are heading towards India, and we are talking about the 4 days play in the match between England and India. So India resuming on the overnight total of 319 for 4 with Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane at the centre. And let's see as to what really panned out, how it really panned out on the 4th day, as India definitely did a good job to narrow the lead, as they were all out for 488. And just talking about the game as far as the 4 days play goes, well, it all started with Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli at the crease. I mean, definitely the English bowlers were really bowling to a plan. There was no doubt about it. And as this partnership, but it was not long before England really got the breakthrough, as first it was Adil Rashid, the right arm leggy, getting the wicket, the prize wicket of, in fact Rahane was the first to go, as Rahane got a ball which actually he played across the line to the bowling of the spinner, left arm spinner Zafar Ansari, and he was gone for 13 with 1 boundary, as he was clean bowled by Zafar Ansari playing across the line of the ball. After that, the next wicket to go was Virat Kohli. Now Virat Kohli, now this is something which normally never happens to a great batsman, but Virat Kohli, for a change, probably in his first time in his international career, was dismissed hit wicket, as he's shaped to play a shot of the bowling of Rashid, and was probably trying to pull the delivery, a short delivery from Rashid, but in the process he dislodged the bail with his probably his back foot, and Virat Kohli was gone. Hit wicket ball Rashid for 40 with 5 boundaries. So that made it 361 for 6. And then Wriddhiman Saha, they had two new batsmen at the crease with the all-rounder Ravichandran Ashwin at the crease along with Wriddhiman Saha. Wriddhiman Saha copped a few blows on his helmet from Chris Wokes. That's how Chris Wokes hit Pujara the other day. And Saha was a bit shaken, I would say, but definitely Saha is someone who has who is a very, very gutsy cricketer. We have seen that he has shown his skills against the West Indies too in the West Indies, and that's what he precisely did. He decided to cop the blows and stay there and give very good company to Ravichandran Ashwin. And Ravichandran Ashwin, let me tell you, was the one who was looking very, very confident playing his strokes. I mean, as far as spinners was concerned, he was very sure about his footwork, and things really improved with this partnership between Ashwin and Saha. As the score reached from 361, it added an valuable 64 runs for India. As this was going on, the score had gone beyond the 400 mark thanks to Ashwin and Saha. As the score reached 425, the wicket of Saha fell, as it was Moeen Ali who picked up the wicket of Wriddhiman Saha, getting him caught behind for 35 with 2 fours and 1 6. That made it 425 for 7, and then the local homegrown boy like Pujara, Jadeja, walked out amidst a huge cheer from the crowd. But Ravindra Jadeja was not able to do what what Pujara did, as he was a victim caught at the closing cordon by Hameed of the bowling of Adil Rashid for 12 after hitting 1 6. So 449 for 8, and then it soon became, with only 10 runs added, Umesh Yadav was back into the pavilion, caught Stokes bowled Rashid for 5, and now the onus was on Ravichandran Ashwin to get as many runs as possible to see to it that India don't concede a big lead to England. And that's what precisely happened. He got a good partner in Mohammad Shami, who stayed with him and helped Ashwin, while Ashwin played very well for his knock. In fact, this was his 11th 50 in Test cricket, and what a useful all-rounder Ravichandran Ashwin is, as finally Ravichandran Ashwin was the last wicket to fall, as he was caught by Ansari bowled Ali after making a very well-made 70 with 7 boundaries, leaving Mohammad Shami not out on 8, and the Indian innings, India were all out for 488, thus conceding a lead of 49 runs to England. And as far as the bowling was concerned, Adil Rashid was the pick of the bowlers, 31 overs, 1 maidens, 114 runs and 4 wickets. Zafar Ansari bowled a good line, 23, 177 runs and 2 wickets. Moeen Ali, 31 overs, 7 maidens, 85 runs and 2 wickets. 1 for 78 for Stuart Broad, and Ben Stokes had 1 for 52. Now England, England after taking the 49 runs lead, started off, and what a wonderful partnership. We saw Haseeb Hameed getting into his element and showing what a precocious talent he is at the age of, and he became the 3rd England player below the age of 20 to go and score a half century. Alistair Cook was the one, in fact it was Haseeb Hameed who really took the honours, I could say, because he played some handsome cut shots and handsome pull shots, some nice drives, and really showed that he's a real precocious talent emerging from England, as Alistair Cook was the one who was just chiseling out an innings in the company of Haseeb Hameed. And Haseeb Hameed also came on twinkling toes to hit a 6-2, as England put up a very nice partnership towards the close of 114 for no loss, essentially 163 runs ahead going into the final day of this test match. And Alistair Cook was not out on 46 with 3 boundaries. Haseeb Hameed was not out on 62 with 5 fours and 1 6. Yes, definitely England in the opening exchanges with the pace bowlers, opening exchanges with the Indian bowlers in the second innings, they had to be a bit watchful, as the ball was doing a bit. Mohammad Shami was bowling in the right areas, and there was something that Haseeb Hameed and Alistair Cook were kept quiet, and they had to really watch out. But once that phase was over, whether it was spinners or pace bowlers didn't matter, as they chiseled out a wonderful partnership to take England towards 114 for no loss. As far as the bowling was concerned, Mohammad Shami none for 12. There were no wicket takers, as you know. 10 was none for 33 for Jadeja. Ashwin none for 32. None for 30 Nimesh Yadav. Amit Mishra once again not looking very impressive. 6 overs none for 19. So I think we are in for some great cricket, but definitely all points out to a draw, unless England are going to make it very exciting on the final day, where they are going to really push the they are really going to up the ante there and probably score around 200 runs and then present India with a target of chasing it. Unless that's going to happen, I'm afraid I have to say that this match is definitely heading towards a draw. But nevertheless, we are going to have some real excitement coming up on the final day, and also in the match between Australia and South Africa. That's it from me, your host Ram, for this Cricket Happening show this on a Saturday. This is your host Ram signing off this on a Saturday. Thank you.